Kimmy, what do I do here?
Rent got too expensive, had to leave LA. So I got into my car and I went away to the big estate. Playing poker every day. Going all in with these fish like I'm at an all-you-can-eat buffet. After our 2-day meetup in San Antonio, we're ready to head back north to Austin. I've been hearing of this German area called Grün right by New Braunfels, so I had to check it out. After pleasing my German ancestors, we continue on our way to Austin and stop by Buc-ee's. If you're from Texas, this place needs no introduction, but for those of you who've never been like myself, this place is like a Costco-sized gas station with gourmet beef jerky, brisket, pulled pork, and way more. We finally arrive in Austin and hit up a cafe on the water called Mozart's. The view was way too pretty, so I had to send the drone up again. Now the day gets insane. My buddy Marcelo convinces me to buy $500 F1 tickets. This whole road trip has been about spontaneity, so it's a full send. We're going. We start in the grass by one of the straightaways, but then end up finessing our way into the bleachers. We're on the move again, checking out a few more views before finally sneaking into the best seats in the house, only a few rows up from the finish line. Max Verstappen takes it down here in Austin, and we're at the finish line to witness it. Crowd goes nuts and people run onto the track to celebrate. Of course, we're not going to miss out on a once-in-a-lifetime chance like this.
Marcelo! We made it!
We're on the track as well with them, and I snap a few pics for the gram. On our way to the card room, we stop at the Congress Bridge, home of millions of bats. It's a surreal thing when the sun goes down and all of them come out. Would definitely recommend you guys experiencing it at least once in your life. We finally make it to the card club, or should I say bar. I met a guy named Tucker at my meetup who said he owned a club in Austin, so of course I had to stop by. It's like nothing I've ever experienced before. Firstly, the main table is right next to a huge open window, giving anybody walking by on the street a chance to peer in and see the action. And the funniest part by far is that the location is a full-fledged bar, and customers will just come in and drink and probably think to themselves why there's a poker game going on right next to them. The card room is called One Time Card Club, and it's ironically a good name because as of December 13th, when you guys are watching this video, the bar is closed permanently and the card room is no more. Hence, I will have only played here one time. The game is a 1-2 match the stack. I'm in for $700. First in a note, we look down at ace-6 of spades. I have a full $700 in my stack and I open it up to $15. Middle position decides they want to welcome us to the table with an all-in shove for $300. Action folds back around to me and I don't have a good feel for the table just yet. The drinks are flowing, but I'm not going to call off with ace-6 of spades here. I toss my cards into the muck. Welcome to the table. Before we can play our next hand, the button decides to do a $300 sleeper straddle and ends up finding the full double up to $600. What does that mean? The sleeper straddle is going to stay on. The button now turns into the cutoff. She's going to keep it on for $600. Absolute insanity. What happens though in this hand? She ends up getting stacked. She's gone. No more rebuys for her. The action here at One Time in Austin is absolutely insane. Okay, we finally pick up a real hand here. Ace King offsuit from the hijack. Under the gun raises it up to $20. I'm going to come in for a 3-bet here and I make it $60. Probably in hindsight a little bit too small, but the drinks are flowing. That's going to be the size of the bet, and of course he puts in the call for $40 more. We're off to a pretty good flop, which comes King 9-4 with 2 hearts. Top pair, top kicker, with our kicker being the ace of hearts. Pretty great situation to be in. 126 in the pot. I'm going to go for a $40 c-bet here. Could also be sizing up somewhere around $60 to $70 as well, considering there are gutters to straight and flush draws on board. $40 is enough for the under the gun though. He sticks in the call and we're off to the turn, which gives us 2 pair. It comes the ace of clubs. Pretty great spot, and now I decide to get tricky and check. Can't really explain my logic to you in this present time, but the check is obviously a trap. Let's see if it works, and the under the gun takes the bait and bets out for $75. Hopefully in the moment I'm deciding to go for a check raise, not a check call. Let's see what I do here. I'm picking up some green chips, then grab some more. Good job, Wolfgang. We're going for the check raise up to $210, putting pressure on all the 10 jack, 10 queen, queen jack, any heart draws as well. They're going to need to pay if they want to see a river card, and pay they shall. Under the gun puts in the $210, and we're off to the river, which is the jack of hearts. Pretty bad card if I do say so. Queen 10 now makes a straight. Additionally, any 2 hearts on the flop are going to have us beat. We do block a lot of them though, having the ace of hearts in our hand, although I'm not really too sure how relevant blockers are in this game. Still, we're going to go for value here. If we get raised, we might just have to fold. I stick out $135, just looking to get some thin value from worst 2 pairs. Maybe King 9 or King Jack will pay us off here for $135 more. That's exactly what happens. We get a thin value bet through. He puts in the call, and we're going to show our ace king for 2 pair and scoop that nearly $900 pot. I've never been a bartender in my life, and since the bar is closing, they give me a rare opportunity to make my own drinks. On the menu tonight are green tea shots. Let's go. We jump back into the action. We look down from the low jack position at ace 3 of clubs. Gonna be coming in for a raise here. I pop it up to $15, and the big blind puts in the call as well. Heads up in position to a flop gives us top pair. It comes ace jack 7 with 2 spades, and when the big blind checks it over to me, I think I need to be going for a c-bet. A pair of aces is probably going to be good here a large portion of the time. In the moment though, I decide to check behind, and we see the king of clubs on the turn. Big blind hits the copy and paste. He checks it over to me for a second time, and now I need to go for some value. I decide to bet out for $15, and the big blind looks me up. Off to a river with $60. In the pot comes the 5 of hearts. Actions on the big blind. He's not one to change up his action. He checks it to me for a 3rd time. I think we can get one more street of value. I bet out for $50. Nearly pot size bet is probably going to make him fold any of his jacks or kings. So in the future, I like a smaller bet somewhere around $25. That's exactly what happens though. He folds his cards, and I show the 3 of clubs to the table. Who knows why, but we're up $330 on the session.
Cheers, brother. Yo, shout out to my guy here for buying us some shots. Thank you.
And now something absolutely insane happens. I'm having the time of my life at the table when Miles on my left leans over and says, "I think there's an F1 driver that just came into the bar." I obviously don't believe him, but what do I know? I only went to my first race today. Sure enough, my buddy Marcelo starts freaking out and tells me it's none other than KIMI RAIKKONEN. He's a legend in the sport, winning the 2007 championship for Ferrari and worth over $250 million. Yeah, billion with a B, and he's here in this dive bar with us. He starts talking to me, and I get him over to the poker table. Check out these clips.
Kimmy, let's take a shot. How do I play this in? I don't know. Kimmy, what do I do here?
Flop a boat.
Flop a boat.
I know what you have. I know what you have.
Cards on the felt, please.
We're gonna
We're gonna f*** him.
That's what he's hoping for. That's what he's hoping for.
Same, 100 behind? Yeah, 100 behind.
I can't leave now, bro.
No, we can't leave right now.
Hell no. Hi.
100 behind.
I end up getting the sick picture with him, and then we try to focus and play a few more hands, but then Kimmy gets on the back of my chair and starts dancing. Absolute madness. We try to focus and play this next hand. We look down at 9-10 of clubs, and I raise it up to $15. Tucker puts in the call, so we're going heads up to the flop. Flop comes 9-7 deuce with 2 hearts. Flopping top pair is going to be good here a large portion of the time. I go for a c-bet of half pot, and Tucker looks me up and puts in the call. Heads up still to the turn. Let's see what it brings in. It comes a 7 of diamonds. Not a bad card as it does not put any overs. Top pair is probably going to be good here. I decide to check it over to Tucker, seeing what he's going to do, and he checks behind, which brings a 3 of hearts on the river. It's obviously another heart, which isn't welcome news for us. But with $61 in the pot, I decided to check and see if we can't get to a showdown. Actions on Tucker, and he doesn't want to get to a cheap showdown. He puts in $50 into the $61 pot. Let's think of our options. Obviously never raising. I could fold or I could call. I'm leaning towards call right now, and here's why. If he had a 7 on the turn, it's unlikely he would have checked behind given the fact there was 2 hearts. His $50 bet into $60 is very polarizing, so either he has a bluff or he has a strong hand like a flush or a 7. I'm eliminating the 7s from his hand, so it's either a bluff or a flush, but given the fact that the drinks are flowing, I decided to toss in 2 green chips and look him up on a call here. If he has us beat, he's going to have to prove it. Tucker turns over Jack 8 offsuit, so he had the Jack of hearts, nothing more. A gutter to the straight is not going to be good here, Tucker. It is your card club, but we're going to take down this $161 pot, up $380 on the session. We end up getting out of the game for $1,220, so a profit of $520 in that 5-hour session. The video doesn't stop here though. We end up going out with Kimi to Rainy Street for another few hours and getting absolutely plastered with him. A once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I can't share any of those videos with you guys. Gotta respect the legend. We then continue the trend of checking out new poker places for the vlog by going to Shuffle 512. It's in South Austin, and our buddy Min from last night stops by with beers. First hand, we look down at pocket kings from middle position. We have $300 in our stack, and I raise it up to $15. Min on the button, he's my buddy. He 3-bets us to $45. No soft playing here. The big blind decides to come in for the cold call. Obviously, I don't want to go 3 ways. I want to get more money into the middle of the pot. I debate just ripping it all in here, but ultimately decide on a smaller sizing around the $125 mark. Min's not one to 3-bet and then fold any 4-bets. He sticks in the call. The big blind does as well. We're off 3 ways to a flop, which comes ace-10-6 with 2 clubs. Having the king of clubs in our hand is nice, but what's not nice is every time we have kings, there's an ace on board. It's starting to get ridiculous. Big blind checks it over to me, and even if I had a hand like ace-jack, I'd check it over to Min here because I'm out of position to him. So I'm going to do that with my entire range here. I check my kings over to Min, and he decides to check back. Off to the turn, which comes the 3 of diamonds. The big blind checks it over to me for a second time, and now I'm going to get some value. The opponent has a hand like Jack 10, pocket jacks, pocket queens. We want to get value from those hands. I decide to just rip it all in. I only have $156 left in my stack. Anything less would just look weird. Min gets out of the way. The big blind does as well. We're going to take down that pot up $250 early in this session. With $500 in our stack, we look down at pocket 9s from the button. Min puts out a $5 straddle, 3 callers to me, and I raise it up to $25. Min puts in the call, and the middle position does as well. We're going 3 ways to a flop on the button though, which comes ace-4-6 with 2 spades. Min and the middle position both check it over to me, and I'm going to have all the strong aces in my range here, whereas Min and middle position cannot, considering they didn't 3-bet me pre. I lead out for $35 into the field, which gets a fold from Min, but middle position decides to look us up and puts in the call. Heads up to the turn, which pairs the ace. It comes the ace of hearts. Middle position checks it over to me for a second time. Actions on me, and I decide to check behind. The river comes the deuce of clubs now. He checks it over to me for a 3rd time. Do I go for a thin value bet here, or do I check behind? I think it's best to go for a thin value in this spot. When he checks over to me 3 times, not going for a check raise on the flop, it's unlikely he has an ace in his hand. He's probably going to have a pair or a flush draw, so let's get some value from pocket 7s, pocket 5s, pocket 8s. I lead out for $55. The opponent unfortunately finds a fold. That means we're good, and we're going to take down that $158 pot, netting us $300 on the session so far. We ended up playing for 4.5 hours, but only 2 hands to report for you guys here. We profited $579 in this session, and our new road trip total is up north of $15,000. Thanks for watching to the end of my video. Click my head below to subscribe and stay in the loop. See you next time.